You know what? You know what infuriates me about this? AI is destroying the world physically. It's using up all the water, and our electricity bills are through the roof, and everybody's losing their jobs. That's bad. But you know what I am maddest about? Is the fact that I can't use a friggin' M- anymore. And I love the M-.
Me too.
I heard somebody on a podcast recently, they were talking about it, how the tells of AI writing. And they're like, oh, they use those long dashes that nobody uses anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody... It's a real thing. That's why AI is trained on it, because it's a real thing.
That's proper English there.
It's proper English. I'm so mad. I'm so mad about it. I feel bad for the jobs and the water, all that stuff. But the M-, come on, guys. Now it's personal.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast for all things JRPGs. I'm Emily.
I'm Branden.
I'm Abdallah.
And today we wanted to tackle I would say, rather tough topic, because it seems like when it comes to talking about games, people are only kind of like really focused on whether a game is peak or trash, right? Mm-hmm. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to kind of tease around this topic and trying to get to the root of this issue. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
We'll try to get to the root of it.
We'll try.
We'll do our best. It's a big topic to tackle in an hour, but we can at least get the conversation started, hopefully. And you all can feel free to continue it in the comments. But it's a real problem. Like I feel like it sort of starts to squeeze the creativity out of any art form when it starts to be viewed that way. Because, I have long been a proponent of like the 7 out of 10 video game, which is the place where, so much creativity is bred, and games like that just will not get any attention.
Any traction
at all. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because I think games just start to get a little uniform too, right? Because they're just aiming to be the best of the best, to be on everyone's attention. Or if they fall too short, they're just considered slop, right? Or complete garbage. There's no in between. It's just some kind of like dichotomy that people are just so transfixed with. I don't know.
Yeah, and it really stifles the creativity, like Brandon was saying, of these developers, because they're afraid because of the polarization of like the critiquing or the feelings towards these games, whether they're like peak or just absolute trash. If they're going to experiment and try something new, it's worrisome that like the fans will have this volatile reaction to them, and then that would basically all those years and money development costs down the drain because of just public opinion, which might not be related to the actual review of the game itself.
Right.
Kind of what you see in movies. Itself. Yeah. It's like what you see in Rotten Tomatoes, like where you have like the critics and then the meta critic scores and things like that, where you have like the public score and then that. So like you see these like very drastic shifts where like critics are very high, but the people are just like review bombing it to hell because there's some sorts of like anger towards it. So
I think this is also trickled down like in fan spaces too, because I think there's a lot of fans who feel like it's their duty to defend said game, right? So that no critique could be out there to somehow harm, the franchise that is so precious to them.
If it's peak, then it has to be defended at all costs. It can't stand on its own merit. We have to defend
We have to go in and take down anyone who's calling it less than peak, right?
This sort of thing makes me think, it makes me wonder, I'm a little bit curious, like if developers weren't worried about this, like you were saying, Dalla, like having to aim for that well-known peak experience that the audience is expecting now, I wonder if a game like Metaphor Refantatio would have been different, because Metaphor is just Persona, right? Like it's all of the gameplay mechanics of Persona, just with a fantasy skin over it. Yeah. So if they didn't feel like they needed to stick with something that was safely within their wheelhouse, that audiences were almost definitely going to love, if they could have done something maybe even better. Metaphor's great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not using this as an example of a trash game that is unfairly called peak. I think it is peak. But
just the example of the newest like IP we've seen, right? From a lot of these big JRPG companies. And how limited maybe the creative scope is. Maybe to its detriment, maybe not, but something we could definitely, I think, see though.
Yeah, for as long as that game was allegedly in development, I say allegedly, it was in development, quote unquote, for 8 years, 10 years, something. Which no, it wasn't. It was probably a 2.5 to 3 year development cycle. They started planning like.
We just had ideas thrown around.
Yeah, throwing ideas around, jotting notes on napkins in a bar after work, probably 10 years before, but like it was not. No.
It wasn't actively in development.
No.
For that long. Yeah.
So just throwing that out there because I see that coming up a lot still online. But I don't know. I feel like there are opportunities for new and cool things that are out there because at one time the Persona model was out there. Right?
Yeah.
The people that when they made Persona 3, they had to be thinking, are people going to be okay with this? This is so weird. You're going to school. Yeah. You're making buddies and getting a job and then doing dungeon crawls at night. This seems so weird, but they hit it, like they nailed it. And then the franchise grew from there. When are we going to see that sort of big swing again?
Risk taking.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of it's just risk taking. A lot of, for various reasons, we're not seeing as many risks being taken.
And I think like that goes into not only our discussion today, but like our last discussion in terms of AA, AAA aspects is that the cost of development also has them very weary of trying to like not just public opinion. Plus that it's all these different things that are causing
multifactorial.
Yeah. But yeah, especially with Persona, like if you look at Persona 1 and 2, and then that switch they did for 3, that was pretty drastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Persona 1 and 2 were basically SMT games with a high school skin. Well, not even high school the entire time, but a different modern kind of skin on them.
Yeah.
And then they, took a big swing and created basically a new franchise out of it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer.
There are some franchises I think that have experimented over the years, but maybe in different ways. Like I think Final Fantasy is also a big example, right? Like every like modern Final Fantasy entry has been something different and new. Sometimes it, aligns with what fans want. Sometimes it doesn't. It seems more on the doesn't side, at least in recent years, and how it's being portrayed. But, they're still taking risks, which I do admire.
It's funny.
I do admire that as well. I think they're erring on the other side of just pouring as much money into it as possible so that it will, at least on a surface level, appear extremely peak, right? Yeah. Even if players end up hating it for the story or the gameplay or whatever, it looks amazing, and so it's going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah. Square's a very interesting take on that because, they will pour all sorts of money into these very different ideas for each Final Fantasy, and they commit to that every time, which is awesome. Good for them. I like that they are experimenting. But then they also turn around and complain, going like, "Well, we didn't make enough money, and this is really bad. Why is this happening?" So I feel like
you guys buy more. That's really they're shaming their audience. I think when they say that.
There's precedent. They've literally done that before. So it's not shocking.
No, that's the funny thing about it. It's like this weird they want their cake and they want to eat it too. And I'm just at the same time no. If you're going to go all in on creativity, then you have to expect that not everybody's going to click.
That's the risk you take.
Yeah. It's the risk. It comes with it. So you can't shame people
for not supporting the risky choices you made.
If there wasn't that fear of needing to achieve whatever peak thing every single time, I imagine that there's a world where Square Enix could take these big swings like they're doing with Final Fantasy, but on new IPs, new games. We could have had what is Final Fantasy 16 could have been the first entry in some new series, and it wouldn't have come with all of the emotional, historical baggage of the Final Fantasy series. 100%. Maybe people would have enjoyed it more because
I think so, honestly.
It was its own thing, right?
It doesn't have Final Fantasy just, looming over it with this expectation.
Yeah.
There's a high expectation when you have Final Fantasy in the name, especially if it's a numbered Final Fantasy.
But
it makes me wonder, Valkyria Elysium, another Square Enix title.
Yeah.
Do they really need that to be a Valkyria game?
Right.
It didn't need to be, technically.
No. I don't think it helped it really with that name, did it? I wonder if it would have done better with a different name.
I don't think it helped it at all.
No.
Like it's a recognizable series franchise from Square Enix, but like it was so different. Like it's a huge departure from, you know, what was expected of that franchise that people are just confused by it, I think.
Yeah. That was during that, of course, that period when Square Enix was kind of doing what
things.
I think
they were doing experimenting.
Yeah, we would like to see.
Yeah.
But because
Yeah,
of
a lot
this
of games.
culture that you were talking about, Emily, that's kind of grown up around this peak or trash sort of thing, these games
got left behind.
were 6 to 8 out of 10s, which by any sane metric is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a 6 out of 10 game does not mean it's trash.
It doesn't
in my
mean
opinion.
it's bad. You might
It's
really
a passing
enjoy
grade.
it.
Yeah.
It's got some merit to it that makes it probably enjoyable. Maybe
Yeah.
not 100%, but depending on, you know, your own gaming tastes, like these metrics, it doesn't like, you know, it's not always one-to-one depending on the person.
it doesn't fully disqualify a game from being played or enjoyed.
Exactly.
But because of
owners,
this,
rather.
because of the reaction to all of these games that came out during that period, that period is over now. Like it's gone, right? Like they've reevaluated how they're going to do releases. They're focusing on their tentpole projects, their peak, their best shots at hitting peak.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They're focusing, on Dragon Quest now, Octopath, because that did well. Final Fantasy, like those are, I really wonder. I'm sure we'll get Chrono Trigger sometime this year too.
And I know it's anecdotal, but a game like Harvestella. Sorry, everybody, it's been 0 days since I mentioned Harvestella. A game like Harvestella.
We should put a sign behind you.
I'll put
A little counter.
I'll create one. I'll sell it online. It'll always be 0, so you could just leave it at 0. It's been 0 days since I mentioned Harvestella. But because, Harvestella came out during that period, and because it wasn't this AAA peak
Goliath.
like masterpiece Goliath monster,
Yeah.
people thought it was trash and ignored it. And because I've made it my personal mission to get as many people as possible to play this game, I've had at this point dozens and dozens, if not hundreds. I don't know. It's been so many over the years of people commenting on YouTube videos of mine or even in person talking. Like, I'm so glad. I never would have tried Harvestella. I thought it was garbage because of the.
You got me to play it.
Yeah, exactly. The reaction.
You got me to play it too.
Right?
So.
Because of the reaction around it, I never was going to give it a chance, and I'm so glad I did. It's like, I know, because the culture that we live in now cannot accept that there's a game that doesn't fit this mold that might also be worth your time, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah,
for sure. I think a lot of this is like social media pressure, right?
It is.
That's exactly
like
what I was going to say.
The polarizing of social media. I remember, back before social media really took off, we saw so many more games, like in the AA or single A space, that were very experimental, especially the PSP, the DS, PS2 era. I really do miss those days, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I know that those open platforms, those big platforms, invited a lot of shovelware, and that was kind of the old term for trash.
But honestly, some of the even licensed games back then, they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the fact that there was quote unquote shovelware on these platforms, that's okay. That's
there's
fine.
Shovelware on modern games or platforms too.
Yeah, we still have that. Yeah. We still have it. It's not like it was a bad thing for it to exist then. Like there were still good games too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the age of experimentation seems like it's ending, and there's so much creativity in the video game industry, and developers that are joining studios today out of college. They're starting up. They've been playing games their whole lives, presumably, if they want to go into it as a career.
Most likely.
Yeah.
So,
or if not their whole life, like a good portion of it.
A good portion of their time has been spent in that art form. And they're coming with all these ideas, and I'm afraid that they're going to find a really stifling environment when they get there, because they grew up. Like their coming of age was during that time when there were so many unique games that took risks, and now everything has to be just vanilla, like beige. It's just got to be very safe, right? It's got to be extremely safe. Give the people what we already know they want.
Yeah.
And
not challenge us,
challenge.
Think of things that we didn't know we wanted.
Right. And I don't have a lot of good to say about someone like Steve Jobs, right? I think not a big fan of him as a person, but his philosophy, like his design philosophy with Apple, was do not give the people what they want, because they don't know actually what they want. And I will admit that myself. I don't know what I want. I want you to give me something that I will want, right? Something that I don't know that I want. You have to figure that out, and that's hard. That's challenging. Yeah. But if you can, sometimes you'll miss too, right? Sometimes you'll whiff.
Of course.
You'll take a big swing and you will strike out and it will hurt. But if you hit it big, like, you know, that's what the game's about, right?
The element of surprise is just so impactful, you know? Like, I can think of like some of my biggest like gaming memories were games I came out of nowhere and just knocked me off my feet. You know, not something I was like, oh, this is the next one. I know I'll like it. It's going to be peak, right?
Yep.
No, that's exactly
That's not to say, you know, some things that we love, like, you know, we're satisfied with. There's plenty of modern games I think we're all still enjoying now that are not risk taking at all.
For sure.
Maybe the best example of this is Trails in Sky First Chapter. There's no risk there, but we're still enjoying it. But it'd be nice, you know, to have not just that, but it seems like Falcom is taking some risk with Kyoto Xanadu. That came out of nowhere. I didn't think we're going to have a side-scrolling, you know, RPG from them like that.
True.
So personally, I think there has to be a balance at the end of the day.
And that's actually a good point. Seeing a company like Falcom that is relatively very small, but still has tremendous
output. They listen to their audience.
They listen to their audience, and they also are thinking a little bit ahead, right?
Yes.
Giving us Kyoto Xanadu is a good example of, you know,
and also what they did with Daybreak too. They changed the combat. Like, did anyone expect that when that was announced?
No one was asking for it.
No one was asking for it, but we were so happy.
Never
We're
would have crossed my mind that would be a
like,
thing.
Thank you. This is great.
This is awesome.
But with Kyoto Xanadu in particular, I think it's interesting that, you know, the original Tokyo Xanadu is a fine game. Like, it's not one of their top tier games in my opinion, but it's a fine game. But it is kind of hard to distinguish it as more than like a mashup of Trails and Ys, right? So and this is all to be determined, right? Kyoto Xanadu's not out yet, but looking at the early trailer that they've released, it does seem like they are putting in these new elements to differentiate it even further. They're taking a risk because they know that the Ys and Trails formula works, but they're taking a risk. They're trying to make a third pillar, maybe a third, you know, series for them to focus on.
And with some callbacks to some of their, you know, more like their earliest titles, because a lot of that was side scrolling.
That's true.
But I think, again, I think there needs to be a balance of, you know, what sort of titles that JRPGs offer. Otherwise, it starts to get a little stagnant, right? And I think people can maybe drop off or move towards other things that spark their interest more, rather than just being fed the same kind of old thing. It might be peak, but if you keep like, you know, consuming peak after peak, what's the new peak? Like, if everything's peak, what does that mean? It's all uniform at that point, right?
You've reached a new height and you are staying there, and you are not experiencing
there's
the highs
no
and
ups
lows
and downs
of life, of enjoyment, right? Yeah. And it seems weird. It seems counterintuitive to be like, you should experience some games that are not 10 out of 10 every now and then, to like, there's so much more to experience when you have that broader understanding, that broader palette, right? Like, there are so many.
Also, the people who rate them 10 out of 10, do you agree with them always?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
maybe
a lot of
you'd like actually a 7 out of 10 game more that they rated.
Yeah. Maybe that would be a personal 10 out of 10 for you. You know, if you just go by the crowd source,
the IGN
score, or the YouTube critics scores or whatever, at a certain point, you're letting somebody else do all the thinking for you, and you are potentially missing out on things that you might actually really like. So
and curating your experiences, which sometimes is helpful, but you don't want them to be the complete driver, right, of your hobbies.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that's where it goes, like, from a consumer perspective, is that thought process. Like, don't let other people tell you what you might like. You can pick up from reviews and things like that. Like, if you know what you tend to like or what you don't like, you can kind of get an idea of things. But at the same time, for the developers out there, to not learn the wrong lessons from those who are critiquing their games. To understand, you have to have like a certain expectation to, like, these are the like the flagpole aspects of my game. If someone's critiquing that and saying that they don't like it, it's like, let's say we get into gung ho, learning the wrong lesson from
the internet,
from the internet, and deciding to want to go with a more one-to-one Japanese translation, machine translation of that. So like that is learning like you're listening to the wrong lessons.
The loud audience.
Exactly.
But they are the minority usually.
Exactly.
The loud minority.
At the end of the day, like as developers, as publishers, you are the experts in your field. Like, you know what works. You've seen the numbers. You have the historical data in terms of what sells, what doesn't. Listen to the people, listen to the critiques, but then also take what you've learned over years of experience and apply that as well. Don't just make decisions that are very like volatile.
And even
without thinking through it,
even with, aspects of a game. So what am I trying to say? Like reviewers, online reviewers, or even publications, Game Informer, IGN, whatever, people that review games regularly, right? It can happen that it's a small group, relatively speaking, right? We Dalla and I do game reviews, and we are a part of a collective of people that is pretty small. And among these sorts of small groups, things can sort of start to get, how do I want to put it? Like samey. We all sort of,
you have your own thinking tank, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the same thoughts circulate.
So you start to pick up things from other people and they pick up things from you, and you sort of get not a hive mind, but it's closer to that than just random,
they kind of bleed into people. It's like accents, Once you live in a certain place, you pick up the accents.
You pick up the YouTube JRPG reviewer accent if you're not careful.
You do. You do.
So the reason I say that is if you're a developer and you hear every JRPG reviewer hates this particular element of your game or whatever.
Yeah.
Consider it, right? Maybe it is bad, or maybe it just didn't hit with this small self-contained group of people. It's possible that it might be fine for the vast majority of people. So something to consider.
Exactly. And becoming like new to the review scene. Like for me, like I'm very much seeing that, like where the things I think about now are things that I hear and have heard from everyone else around me, like in this little niche of a world that we live in the JRPG review scene. Yeah. Like there's, of course, I still have all my like thought processes and things that I care about talking, but at the same time, like it's very true to like the way we're critiquing sometimes can be very similar.
It's because I think the audiences have like a certain expectation, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same formats or, the same things that they want to cover and review. They're like, wait, this is missing. Right?
Yeah.
That was my interpretation of it all.
No, 100%. So
that's why sometimes some of the review styles and everything kind of can overlap quite a bit. But I want to, we've been talking a lot about peak and things that people kind of associate with, this is the games you should play and you should ignore the trash garbage games, right?
Yeah.
We've seen, unfortunately, what happens when games are kind of categorized as peak and trash, right? If so many games get categorized in trash, sometimes the studios lose funding, right? And they collapse. We've been seeing this, I think, quite a bit of, that's happening. It's been kind of sad. Honestly, the industry has been a little sad.
It's been a rough time for to be a game developer in general, but because of all the things we're talking about and more. But yeah, with Sony this week as we're recording, closed down Bluepoint, which is just catastrophic mismanagement, unlike a Microsoft level, right? To mismanage that group of talent so poorly that you shut them down. I think they had them on a live service game. That's the craziest thing.
The God of War one was.
They were working on the God of War live service game. Ridiculous misuse, like criminal. I would say criminal misuse of talent. They should be investigated because, like,
tell the audience in case they're not unfamiliar with the studio, like what they're known for.
Bluepoint, yes, Bluepoint has made a name for themselves remaking like older games. So they did the Demon's Souls remake for PS5. They did the Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Yes.
And they do tremendous work. When Bluepoint shut down, I heard the anguished cry of the internet at the fact that we're probably never going to see a Bloodborne remake or whatever now because Bluepoint is gone.
And all those JRPGs that Sony has, right?
Yeah, well, people
Those
were
were
hoping that
potential
they would do a Legend of Dragoon remake at some point.
I know.
That seemed more likely than ever, as the way
It did.
JRPGs have kind of started to gain an audience again in recent years. So, yeah, I mean, it could still happen, but like Bluepoint is gone, right? They're done.
Yeah, because like they also did Gravity Rush for the PS4 version of that one.
Remaster,
They did Flower. They've done so much. Like they're very technically savvy. Like when we've talked about remasters and remakes and things previously on the show, and like we've talked about quality of those things. And Bluepoint themselves were one of the top, like especially in the 3D space of making 3D games. Not just like 2D, like old school, like retro games, but they would really take these amazing games and bring them to these new consoles with such a degree of passion. That's what set them apart. And it's just sad to see like Sony stifle that passion for so long and just mismanage them to the point where they closed them down. It's just so much good talent.
Oliver, a live service game, most likely.
Yep.
And it's like
also the stinker.
That's the insult to injury right there.
Yeah, and that's like the same thing as like developers, publishers out there just like learning the wrong thing about the industry and what's going to sell and what's not as well. You just can't go all in on live service. It just doesn't seem to be healthy.
It's not stable at all.
No.
No, as you can see with Sony, like
single player games have been around, since the beginning. So
yeah.
It's a staple, I think, that should have a stronger foundation. But unfortunately, so many of these, studios, they're closing down.
Yeah.
And putting those out.
I'm hoping that we see Bluepoint get absorbed somewhere else, or at least some of these great devs find themselves like somewhere that they can work and actually contribute again.
Yeah.
Do some great work.
Follow a project they're passionate about.
It's possible that some of them have already been reabsorbed into other parts of Sony. I don't know if they made clear how it was dissolved, but hopefully, I mean, especially for the individuals that would be losing their jobs in that case, hopefully they get something soon. But it's just such a bad time in general. And I mean, Sony deserves the lion's share of the blame for that sort of thing happening.
Yes.
But this like discourse of trash or peak is a contributing factor to Sony making the decisions that they make. And that's bummer. That is something that we do, fortunately or unfortunately, have a little bit of control over. So
not just with social media pressure, but sales numbers and influence.
Yeah, which is funny because like I feel like with Sony specifically, people have been very clear about voting with your wallet, and that's why they've had to trash a lot of the different things they've worked on. That or have to pivot because they've realized that they're just not going to sell or it's just not going to make it back the money. So like there's a stubbornness to Sony. And I don't know if it's the CEO of Sony who has a very distinct thought process to that.
I don't know. Yeah. They do follow some of those, like the Portal, right? That was not designed to be as big as it has been, right? And so now they're thinking, we should go in the handheld gaming now.
Yeah. And I wonder, I guess it remains to be seen whether that's them learning the wrong lesson again or not.
I wonder. Or a little too late,
Yeah. So Sony has like the unfortunate like tendency to half do things where they'll like create something.
Half commit.
Like not market it, barely market it, and then don't like actually develop for it at all. Like the PSVR 2 just dead in the water. The Vita was dead in the water.
PSP, like even they tried a little bit
was
harder,
like half.
But it was the beginning of that slide towards
like especially in the US, it just exactly. It's just like they just half do things, and it's very unfortunate to see that. Like another aspect of like, we're talking about using critiquing and or like voting with your wallet, but there is an aspect of like, I would say overglazing something
or enabling
like bad behaviors or things that are like, so like there's a whole sense of like if you critique something, like let's say a legitimate critique, as somebody who enjoys a game, but you're like, I don't like this little thing and I wish they would change it. And then you have, everybody either on Twitter or just some people around you in general will be like, no, you cannot say one thing that is negative because you're just going to ruin it for everybody. It's going to destroy the game and everything like that. And you're just like, no,
we don't want the studio to go down in shambles. There's so much doom and gloom.
Yeah, I know. It's such an extreme thought process.
And those
which unfortunately, I could see some merit though, because we have seen the collapse of a lot of sectors in this industry. And so that's why I think some people are just, tiptoeing around some issues because they're just afraid of the detrimental effects that they've seen around them.
Yeah, so I think they're well-intentioned. I think that sort of behavior is well-intentioned, but
they are well-intentioned.
It's misguided. I don't think it's because
good.
It's misguided because it actually will end up being detrimental to that studio in the long run if they don't get that feedback, if they don't
learn.
And it could actually be detrimental to potential players too. If I'm doing a review and I like a game, but I have a particularly harsh criticism about one aspect of it, if I don't share that criticism and it, leads to people purchasing the game, not realizing that was an issue, and maybe that was a deal breaker for them. If they had known about it, then okay, the studio got this person's money this one time, but they might never get that person's money again, right? So being able to criticize things that we even love, even things that we are like, I criticize the things that I'm the biggest fan of. Those are the things that I 100%. Actually tend to be the most critical of because I pay the most attention to them. Right. And I don't think that that's bad. I think that that's good. Honestly, I feel like
you can love something and also be very critical of it. There's you can't just get rid of that thought process. There's a very dynamic aspect to loving something.
It's healthy to criticize things. We can't, as Abdallah said, laze things constantly because there's just, I kind of just miss how people are more afraid. They were less afraid of, expressing their real thoughts. Right now, I feel like whenever you see people expressing their real thoughts online, it's for sensationalism. It's not really their real true thoughts, right? They're trying to reach to that, community that thinks one side or the other, that dichotomous community. They're really skewing it to extremes where it's not relatable, but people still latch onto it because it's that singular voice that has a semblance of what they're interested in. And then it kind of just skews and goes, I think, to dark places.
We created an incentive structure where the most extreme opinions don't just get attention. They make money. They earn money from having the most extreme opinions. So that is another bullet
aspect
wound in the carcass of the games industry is people being super incentivized to either glaze or destroy. And there's no room for anything in between.
Yeah. Well, because there's no money in between.
There's no money in between.
It's either you don't make money or you find some sort of extreme to sit at.
That's my problem. That's what I've been doing wrong this whole time with YouTube. I think too much. I need to just pick a side and fall down hard. It's got to fall down 100%. So hard on it.
You just that's how you make money.
You're witnessing the birth of the new Just the Gems. We are all sensationalism all the time.
All you're giving up is your integrity.
That's fine. They can have it.
Your small price of integrity.
Just the Gems is going to be literal because it's all going to be about the gems.
Just the stuff that
No, it's just the gems. He wants that money, the jewels. Give it to him.
Give me that money.
Give me the
money. Money. I kid, of course, although the money would be nice, but I kid.
Yes. So when I was talking about critiquing and things like that, one of the examples I like to use, and I know this will probably fall down hard on some people.
I'm getting ready to get angry. Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. Not from the sense of there's a very touchy subject. Pokemon is very...
You're competing with so many things, right?
Yes, exactly. There's such a huge competition and there's such a, it's such a deep nostalgic IP that people have a lot of passion for that they've been playing since they were kids. And so critiquing that or taking away from how good that is hard on people.
Those memories, they're untouchable, right?
Exactly.
Don't you dare touch my good memories associated with this IP.
And don't get me wrong, like I have incredible memories of playing Pokemon. Some of my favorite memories growing up is playing Pokemon Red on my Game Boy Color, and Game Boy, just in Game Boy in general. So like I have a lot of nostalgia for Pokemon growing up, but at the same time, as I've gotten older and I've, my expectations for development and quality of games, especially as games get way more expensive over time, I like to see a certain kind of,
as our frame of reference expands, we want also other things to expand with it, not stay so stagnant. Well, there have been, changes to Pokemon, I think, over the years.
Exactly.
I don't think we're not the audience, for those changes, which is okay. I don't think that's the worst thing.
No, exactly.
Personally.
I think from a gameplay perspective, Pokemon is Pokemon. Like you're not going to get anything different and that's totally fine. I think that's great. For me, it's always been critiquing like just the development style, the expectations around like they're just getting these games out so quickly and with bugs and quality problems here and there, especially with Violet and Scarlet. Needs a lot of there's a lot of aspects. And don't get me wrong, like I think Pokemon Company is probably and Game Freak is probably taking a little bit of that feedback because it's been about 3 years since
it's longer, right?
This is the longest development period since between Pokemon, like mainline Pokemon games in a long time, like ever. I think honestly, like I can't remember the last time it's been this long. So maybe they're taking some of this feedback, especially from Scarlet and Violet.
I hope so.
And hopefully when we see whatever happens in Pokemon
they
Day,
did address
if they're going to announce
with patches though, right? Like I hear Scarlet and Violet run a lot better on the Switch 2. It's not 100% perfect, but much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's also like the Switch 2 is definitely more powerful. So it's just kind of like,
of course,
brute forcing
pushing it. It's brute forcing it to be very good.
There's still some Switch 1 games that do not look pretty on that Switch 2.
Oh, wait. It does run better, but it doesn't look pretty.
No?
They didn't update the textures. The textures are still like,
people were saying it was pretty good, but I don't know. I haven't witnessed
the
it myself.
quality of the smoothness of the characters, the quality of the graphics are nice, but when you like look at the distance and you look at like the textures of like everything around there,
the pop-in stuff, sure.
The pop-in stuff. And then also
they would have to just rebuild the game, I think, at that point.
They would have to update all the textures to everything, which is a lot of work.
We saw it a little bit, Emily, in Seattle, as I recall, but I had never seen it before then, so I didn't have anything to compare it to, so I don't know how it looked or ran. So
I don't know.
Yeah. So no, but like I mean that's I know that is an aspect of like fans don't like to see, because at the end of the day they're like, but I love this game and I don't want to.
That's cool. We can't take that away from people.
No,
if they love it, that's great. But doesn't mean the thing is and like off limits from critique.
Exactly. You can love something and then also critique it, because it teaches the developers to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just put our developers through hell to get them to make a Pokemon game in a year and have it be kind of half done or just filled with bugs.
Yeah.
Because it's good for us. It's good for the developers. So they're
I think
not
it's good for the industry
through
too, because also other developers who are not part of, Pokemon Company or Game Freak, they're looking at this like, okay, how can we build an even better game, but with our own style? Right. A lot of JRPGs, they're all influenced by one another.
Yeah, but you don't want to copy Pokemon, you get sued.
Well, you won't, sure. But, like you can still take elements and be inspired, No,
I know.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Everyone is inspired by something, There's no absolute creativity anymore.
There's no such thing anymore.
Just comes out of nowhere.
Right. That's just how brains work. We take the things that we know and we remix and
we build off each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy was a Dragon Quest clone, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just natural.
And Dragon Warrior was inspired by
was it Ultima and Wizardry
and all those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is inspired by D&D or something, right? I don't know.
Exactly.
A whole rabbit hole, which was inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Everything is like there's some sort of inspiration going as far back as there is some sort of media done, whether it's been cave drawings.
We have records of.
to like
that we have records
exactly.
of. Yeah, we can only go back so far, but it had to, even then,
Otherwise, it's like oral
oral tradition,
tradition.
Oral traditions, storytelling, things like that. So like everything has kind of been compounded upon each other, upon civilizations, and to the point that we've got this stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So by all means, be critical of the things you love. Be critical of the things you don't.
Be discerning too.
Yeah, and choose games that
Be healthy about it.
Be healthy.
Speak with your wallet.
Yeah,
And
just
use your time wisely. A lot of it, I think, comes down to time more than money.
True.
Exactly. And you could be critical without being like terrible about it. Like you can give constructive criticism. I think that's something that's lost recently, where like we've been talking about with such the extreme voices that people need to have to sell these like ideas online. It loses, like there's no like their arguments break very quickly if you like scrutinize it just a little bit, because there's nothing really backing up, no substance. That's why when you're trying to criticize something, you want to make sure you have things to criticize it.
Have thought behind it.
Exactly. There needs to be like a thought process. And when you actually start to think about it, then you truly find that middle ground. And I think that's the problem, is like people aren't thinking about, they're just like blindly going into like one direction. Yeah.
And one thing that always bothers me is when people, they start off a so-called critique as to be blunt. Right? It's always just in my mind, like, okay, you're just trying to be rude but trying to cover up, right? You're not actually trying to nicely critique something. Like you could definitely say things before saying to be blunt. But that's a nitpick thing for me, when people are not, I think, trying to be, genuine when they're critiquing.
Yeah. And it's fine if you're not a critic and you don't have the language of a critic. It's totally fine to just be like, I don't care for this game, or I really like this game. And if that's the extent of it,
state your opinion.
That's fine. That's totally fine too, And
but you don't have to like
people that that are in your life that might have similar taste to you. That might be enough of a sell for them to determine if they're going to buy something or not. So,
but a lot of it has to do with like, some communication skills, right? Like, think of like if you're on the other end, if someone says these words to you, how would you take it? Because, how you say things could definitely be interpreted different ways without the intent you had. So you have to be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
It's empathy.
I know I do it myself all the time.
That's just like the empathy of it all. Is it's hard. It's hard to do.
It's not easy. There's a lot of people that can't pick that up on that. Not everybody
it's subtle
has
a lot too.
Yeah,
very subtle.
It is very subtle. Some people are just not very good at picking those things up, and that's totally fine. It is what it is. But honestly, like I think where we're at with things, we just need to be more open. And I feel like everybody has their opinions, but to force opinions on others, I think is the key. Like
you want to avoid.
Exactly. I think there's like the whole bandwagon of like, if you hate something, you don't have to be hateful on the internet about it.
Or drag things down in comparison. That's another thing I don't like.
Yeah.
Because if you're a fan of something, let it stand on its own 2 feet. You don't have to defend it by dragging something else down.
Right.
So that your thing elevates. Like, I don't know. I think, fandoms in general, they could be great things, but there's also a toxic side to them. So it's all about balance. And it's about, unfortunately, it's
like avoiding the toxicity. Like that's a really good point. It's not about glazing everything, and it's not about trashing everything. It's about appropriately, like expressing the appropriate feeling for a game. Like I remember when a couple of years ago when the game Reynatus came out, and the critical backlash to this, you would think that it killed everyone's mother or something. Like it was just the most hated game. And it's like, it's not like, even if you don't like it, it's not that bad. Like it's fine. No. It's like, so because the discourse was so elevated right out of the gate, completely fell off everybody's radar because it's like, well, there's nothing here. It's obviously trash. It's like,
It's something to avoid.
Yeah,
it's like,
right? You know, if we could express, and that's what I tried to do in my review. Like, I'm not saying I'm better than everybody. It's just like that's something I'm very cognizant of.
Are you?
Is like I try to be. I really do. Like I want to present my experience with the game, and if I had a pretty good but not perfect experience, I try to find a way to convey that in a way that is like not just diminishing the game down to nothing based on the one or two things I didn't care for. And so like if you can appropriately communicate at the right level your distaste for a particular game or aspects of a game, that goes a long way towards fixing this binary that we've created in the game criticism space or the games industry in general. Like not everything is peak or trash, right? There's so much room to play here in the middle. So much room.
And someone's peak could be someone's trash. You know?
Right. So it's like not even a definite thing, right? It's not even a thing that is objective and easily defined. It's going to differ from person to person anyway. So
it's all relative.
Yeah.
There's no, what do people like to say? It's how this is like the only outcome or the only opinion you could have. It's like it's known fact. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on this term? It bugs me whenever someone says it's like the definitive or not.
Yeah.
It's unobjectionable truth here. In there, they say it an opinion.
The objective reality of the
unobjectable truth to the most subjective thing.
Yeah.
The most objective thing has an objective truth to it that this is good or bad.
Shocking.
Guys.
This is objectively good or this is objectively bad. Look at these sales numbers. No, that's not how that works.
Guys, at the end of the day, it's art and art is always subjective.
Right. It really is.
This is not science. This is not like something that could be like, it's not black and white. It's like, you
can't just measure it by sales numbers. That's not the only objective truth out there.
Because the sales numbers are influenced by all of the stuff we're talking about, right?
There's so many, contaminations there.
If a game like Harvestella hadn't gotten the negative attention that it got right out of the gate, I bet the sales numbers would look pretty different, right? Like
it's true.
If they marketed it not as a farming game, I think
they didn't market it as a farming game.
That was on them.
That aspect of it was definitely their fault. Yeah,
with all the other farming games,
they screwed that up.
That was definitely a marketing failure, but. I would say the marketing failure was 75% of the problem with Harvestella. The other 25% was the discourse. But yeah,
I also didn't like the demo, but that was just me.
Yeah, they did make some improvements. Fortunately, they need to stop doing that. That's a whole other thing where they need to stop making demos as a way to like get feedback from people. I remember when demos used to be here's this very polished thing that's going to get you excited about this game, and not like we're not sure if this works. Can you guys tell us? Like
that's a very much
feedback. Yeah, I don't like that because
I don't like that.
It just gives people's mind like that's the first time that they've seen this presented, and that's just what's going to stick.
Yeah,
the first impression
seems like it's a very Square Enix, especially the smaller devs within Square Enix.
Yeah,
like
they've been using
teams.
that model.
They've been using that a lot lately.
Also, just bad demos that really do not showcase the game off at all. I just question sometimes.
Yeah, the best demo has a good vertical slice. I understand the desire to have your demo be the first like 2 hours of the game so that you can carry over the save data. But that's not always. Sometimes. It does work sometimes, but it's not always the best way to. Yeah, it
depends on the kind of
what
game.
The game has to offer. It really does. Yeah, it depends on what the game is.
It depends on the game that you're playing. So, like, if it has a very like good first 2 hours, then awesome. Like, if it's a very like captivating 2 hours, but if it's like a slow, drawn out first 2 hours, then you're like, you should probably just give it a slice.
The exception to that rule is Trails in the Sky First Chapter remake. That demo was just the prologue. It was like 6 hours or 8 hours.
It's so long.
And it's very long, but it does such a good job of selling the game because it was just so well done.
I spent 12 hours on it. It was great.
Yeah, it's very good. Anyway.
12 hours.
Anyway.
Yes.
What have you guys been playing? I feel like we covered that topic and we haven't really talked about our gaming habits in a while. Lately. So what have you been up to?
Gaming
lately?
Emily,
what have you been playing?
Yeah.
Well, I just started up Eve's 10 Proud Nordics yesterday, actually.
Okay. How you liking it?
And you know what? I think it's so fun. Like, I did not expect the dialogue to be as funny as
It is very funny. Yeah.
It is very funny.
Like Adol, especially, he's so cheeky. Like
Yeah.
some of
I know.
the things you could say, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, little 17-year-old Adol, you're so
Right.
funny.
He's very
What
funny.
happened?
He is the poster boy in my mind of the silent protagonist not being a thing anymore, because he's not a silent protagonist. He's a voiceless protagonist. He's not a silent protagonist. He's not even
He was
voiceless.
voiced a couple times.
He's voiced a few times.
Yeah, he's
And
voiced a few
also
times.
in the menus, he speaks a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also in the new content, I don't know if you noticed this, Dallah, in the new content, I feel like he has way more cutscene
Yes.
dialogue than at any other point in the game. So I
Yeah,
wonder
they
if they're
added
kind
a
of
bunch there.
if they're moving in that direction.
I hope so. I like it.
I'm
He's
hoping
sassy
'cause, like,
Adol. He's so funny.
I love my favorite. And I talked about this in the review, but one of my favorite aspects is like I love the dynamics between Karja and Adol in
Oh,
this
they're
game.
just
Perfect.
the best.
Because,
Just the
like,
I
best.
love it too.
Karja is so like very straight-laced,
She's very strict.
very serious, strict, and everything like that. And then like every time Adol's like, because like I always make the choice. If there's a choice of him going like something about adventure, I will choose it. And because every time Karja will just be like, of course. Of
Of course, that's what you want to do.
Of course.
Like you are like the most like just you don't care about anything. You just want to go on adventure. You don't care like how
Like, they're
intense
only-
anything is.
At that point, they're only in each other's lives for a few months by the time the game's over, but they already
Yeah.
feel like an old married couple. It's so funny.
I know it's so good.
I've only done the first 4 hours of this game, and I could totally feel that. I love it. And
It's really good.
I've been doing some like narrations and voice acting too for my streams,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're just so fun to act out.
Yeah, no, it's
The gameplay's fun too.
Yes,
is.
Like I still need to get used to the shielding and parrying, but I think I'm getting there. Getting there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I don't know if I said it in my review or if it was just us talking, but because I had played it before, the original version, like I already came in with that knowledge, and I enjoyed it so much more the second time just because I didn't have to like learn everything from the beginning. So once you get it down, it is like the most fun. I feel like
It's
the
so
most fun
fluid.
use. Yeah.
I just got to get the controls right with the whole where the jumping button is.
I almost-
and the
It's
sprinting
so-
button, all that.
So I got better by the end, but I almost never went more than a half hour without some notable screw up in my inputs because the controls are very complicated.
Oh, and then I switched too much, and they
feels
keep saying
weird.
the switch name, like they out loud say switch. I'm like, no,
Switch.
no, I'm supposed to hold down the bumper and then push square here. So
Isn't it
then you
funny?
don't switch.
As an aside, that Bryce Pappenbrook and Jeremy Lee playing those two characters,
Yes.
yelling switch at each other, like they also played the main characters in Sword Art Online and similarly had to yell switch at each other. I just think
I
that's
did not
great.
know that. That's so funny.
That's so funny. No, the mechanics of the game, man, the controls are so wonky. I tried to switch the dodge to
Circle.
but then when I
wish.
switched it to circle, it wasn't working.
No.
Yeah,
Like
Oh,
it,
I was thinking about doing that.
It wouldn't.
I didn't
It wouldn't.
like it.
It wouldn't do like the fast dash. It would just kind of like slightly dodge, but it would. It stopped doing the dash. And I was like, that's weird. So I had to switch. When I switched it back to the bumper, it was dashing again. And I was like, okay, maybe there's some.
Is it like
weird-
how long you hold it for? That's weird. Sometimes the inputs are.
I always,
Yeah.
yes, it might be eating the input or something, but like I almost always change the inputs on a Falcom game because in my mind, it doesn't make any sense the way they set it up. This time I left it as is. And I'm like, I'm just going to learn this, darn it. Like
That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm just going to learn it. And I did come around on it by the midway point of the game. I was like, okay, it's still really complicated. And I keep accidentally pulling out my Gullen board sometimes or, doing a group special move instead of a single person special move by accident because I hit R2
But there's some
instead of
flexibility,
R1.
which is nice. Like it's okay if you mess up.
And it's not, messing up doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like get killed. So it's not the end of the world, but it's
No, exactly.
yeah. I just went with Falcom's vision this time, and I actually I came around on it. I came around on it. I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, I still made mistakes,
Oh, yeah.
but it was fine. Like I got used to it for the most part.
Well, we're reviewers, Dallah. We don't know how to play video games. We're bad.
No,
at
we
video
don't.
games, so.
Yeah, we're naturally bad at it.
So we're gonna
our
make mistakes
reviews-
all the time because we're bad at games. So.
Exactly, and then we complain to the developers about how. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and we just need to get good.
Yeah, we
Just need to get
forget
good.
that we just need to be good at things.
You don't have the peer pressure of people watching you on stream to get good.
Well, Dallah does. To be fair, I don't. I don't have
That's
that
true.
pressure.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Code Vein was very funny for my get good moments.
I can't wait till you get the end. How long it takes you?
Oh, it's gonna take me a while.
That last battle, man.
That last, I can
painful.
I can see myself being very frustrated, but also very like I'm very stubborn. So I will spend all sorts of time on it.
What have you been
Branden,
playing, though,
how about
Abdallah?
you?
Oh, I got you
Okay.
first. I beat you.
Oh, damn it. All right. You got me. What have I been playing? Man, I jumped a little. I took a little bit of a couple of days of just kind of just relaxing. I would jump in a little bit to play
That's good.
some Octopath. Just jump back into that a little bit, and then I did a little bit of the other week. I did a stream for Yakuza 0, which this week was, I don't know what happened this week. It's got really hectic. I had like a million things to do, but I should be streaming it again on, well, by the time this comes out, it would have been Monday.
Monday.
But for us here in the present, it's in a couple of days. But yeah,
it's a couple of days. So that's my plan to get back into that. So I'm excited to keep playing the Yakuza 0. Outside of that, I feel like director's cut. I need to fix my. I need to make sure my streaming setup is properly, because I don't know what the audio levels on my on Yakuza 0 was really weird.
Sometimes they get weird.
Because something about Yakuza 0, the sound effects and everything was loud, but the voices were just not. You couldn't hear them.
Can you change it in the menu? Maybe
like they didn't have any audio settings.
Alter it. No,
which is so weird. I went into the audio settings and I went to the settings and I was trying to find the audio. I was like, there's no settings for few settings for anything in the director's cut version. So I was
they were very confident that their audio was perfect.
I was trying to turn off the Switch voice in for EOS 10. Was not there.
Yeah.
Switch. I just know it's going to annoy me. Switch.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm trying to think of something to play that is outside of maybe like a little palate cleanser. I need something that's so I've been trying to think about that.
Yeah,
I think my palate cleanser soon is going to be Resident Evil Requiem.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
So I'm excited to stream that when it comes out.
I looked at the possibility of trying to see if I could get into the Capcom Creator Program. But they want to know the games for Capcom that you've covered and all this stuff.
Yep,
I was like, I don't really think
I applied to that. I'm still pending since September.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's like, I don't know that, like, maybe they would let me in, but like, I don't want to make up some BS. Like, you know,
You want to cover Monster Hunter Stories 3, no?
I do. I mean, I would cover it if I was in there, but if I'm not in there, I might still talk about it, or maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see.
I do have a demo out I need to play. I hear pretty good things about the demo.
I heard good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I want to try it out at some point. So
I finished Proud Nordics for the review, and I took a few days. When I finish a big review that's lengthy period of time playing, I usually need a day or a couple days to decompress.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Where I don't play anything. I'm just watching TV. We started watching The Traitors, Jen and I. Just like on a whim, on a complete whim. It's on Peacock, NBC. It's basically the game Mafia, the Traitors.
Okay.
Oh,
it's like the game Mafia
I heard Traitors at first. I'm like,
or Werewolf, or those like party games. But it's like big budget reality TV production of that game, and it is the most addictive show I've it's so good.
It's got
so
Alan
good.
Cummings, right?
Yeah, he's the host. Yeah,
the host of it. Yeah. Okay.
We are in love with that show. The finale of the season is next week, so we got caught up, and looking forward to that. Yeah, I love.
Can't remember the last time I watched reality TV.
Yeah, me neither. It's like people are like, Did you watch Survivor? Did you watch this? I'm like, no, I've never seen anything.
No.
I watched
Project Runway when I was in high school. That was about it.
Yeah, I would watch game shows. Like I would watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I remember as a kid.
Family Feud.
I love watching The Price is Right as a kid.
Well, yeah, those aren't
Jeopardy.
reality shows. Those are just game shows.
No,
so yeah,
those are more game shows.
I didn't really watch reality shows at all, but I'm just so hooked on the show. But anyway, then just today I finally got back into rolling with the games, and I picked up Digimon again because I'm making slow but steady progress. Every time I get going on it, though, I get interrupted with another review. So I'm hoping that
That's the landscape, right?
things stay chill for a while. I'm
Is
not
there
going to
anything
seek out any reviews. If they drop in my lap, I may have to do them, but I'm not going to seek any out right
I'm
now.
hoping March, will be pretty chill, so I can finally get to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because when is what's it called? The new Square Enix game coming out?
Elliot?
Adventures of Elliot. That was June.
Oh, okay, so we got some
middle
time.
of June. Yeah.
Time before that comes out.
Yeah.
And who knows what else gets announced?
That's true. I mean, who knows? Whenever that Nintendo Direct
Fire Emblem, when you coming out?
Hiding around the corner, they're just whenever that's going to happen.
It could happen.
I didn't think it'd happen, really.
Yeah.
Maybe this coming week or even this week, maybe we'll get a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, you never know. We finally get that Xenosaga. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
If only.
I think we'll get a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 definitive edition announcement maybe at the next
I could see that.
Nintendo Direct.
I don't know if it's going to be so close, though, now that they shadow drop X.
I'm wondering if that's why they shadow dropped it instead of making a deal out of it, because they were planning to make a big deal out of the 2, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Make a big deal of it. Make a special edition. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Finally, buy a Switch 2.
I would love a reason to buy a better version of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes. I just want one that has the DLC and the game on the same cart.
Because it's already a beautiful game, but
I'm not as particular about that because on the Switch 1, they had the DLC on the cart. Feature Redeem, though, needs to be on a cart somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That I'm looking forward to whenever they...
For 3. Yeah.
For they do that for 3.
But 2, I'm not as, I'm sure if they do a definitive edition, it's probably going to be on the cart.
All I ask
I'm not too worried.
When they do the definitive edition of 2 is make it easier to get Cosmos, please.
Just make it easier to do the field actions. That's my thing. I got stuck a couple of times where I didn't have the right skill or whatever to do a mission critical field action. Like, this is so bad. Don't do this.
Yeah.
I have to go gamble now to find the right blade to be able to do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Anyway,
you get those blades, it's so sweet.
it does feel good, but
It does. Yeah. But I mean, it is nice playing. I started up. Actually, you know what I did do? Started up Chronicles X again, just to play around with it and see.
How it
But it looks good. I mean,
minus the AI scaling and handheld.
Yeah, the scaling is a bit shimmery in handheld, especially. I noticed it like when I left the city, it was fine. Within the city, it was like very shimmery, and then like the sharpness is maybe a little tad too high. It looks a little too
Probably patched out.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to patch it. They'll patch it pretty quickly usually.
Hopefully, it'll be on the physical once that comes out.
Yeah, when is that?
Most
Is that coming out in
likely
April?
not.
April.
Is that coming in April?
April.
Okay.
Yeah, which
Might be cutting it too close though.
Yeah,
if they haven't patched it
it's
out yet.
probably already on the cart. If they're probably in production of the carts already. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'll wait for a revision.
hopefully there will be one.
Yeah, they have
Probably, I
precedent
don't
for
know.
revising their cards.
They do,
so.
but they haven't done it for Switch 2 yet.
Yeah, so
Because
I don't
I guess
know
it
new
remains
still.
to be seen. Yeah, how if it's
whether they do it
complicated.
for Switch 2 versions of games, maybe new Switch 2 games. But I don't know if
This,
I don't know how-
well,
because they don't know how much they make off of those new, like the Switch 2
the
versions.
new Nintendo
Yeah.
editions.
Like they might not sell enough of those to warrant a revision,
Who knows?
but they might. Who knows? I have no idea. I have no numbers against that.
Yep.
But it is very nice and very smooth, buttery smooth in 60 frames. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving back into it. I may wait for the physical or maybe a revise. I don't know. We'll see. Or I could just pay $5 and play it now.
that's what I did.
I don't know.
$5. I was like, I'll try it.
Yeah. It's like, I like it. Somebody described it as if you're mad about paying $5 for the upgrade, it's like, it's just a tip to Monolith Soft. You're just
Yeah.
you're just writing $5
don't
in the
mind.
tip line. That's fine.
Yeah, it's Monolith Soft. I love them, so I'm willing to give them. Here's $5.
If I was independently wealthy, if I was a billionaire, I would just fund them. That's what that's like a pet project. I would just fund them.
Yeah,
would
if
have
I
all
was
the-
if
They would never need for anything. I would pay all their bills. I would just fund them.
I'd be like, all right, Square Enix, all right, Monolith Soft, how about I fund the Xenogears?
Yeah, I'll make this. I'll produce this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, anyway, thank you for joining us
on that note.
on this episode. We really appreciate you. Thanks especially to our members for keeping it real, keeping the lights on for us. Love that. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
And we'll be having our after show here shortly. So for Pursuer level and up members, I'll be up soon.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed
again,
our
everyone.
spoiler cast.
Oh yeah, the spoiler cast came out this week when this drops.
That's true. If you are caught up to Trails with Trails Beyond the Horizon, the episode's new up, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Had a blast.
We had a lot to say. We probably
so
could have
many
kept going.
Theory crafting. My goodness.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. I'm like more excited now after talking.
Lots of like this meme going on the whole time.
Yeah, it was
between all
like
of us.
Literally, I think we threw our hands up a few times.
We did.
We did. It was
goosebumps.
Quite a few times.
Goosebumps were made.
Exactly. So
it was cool. So yeah,
if you haven't checked it out, check it out if you played the game.
But again, spoilers.
Spoiler cast. Remember that.
I'm sure
it's the only time we'd have spoilers on this podcast during spoiler.
Exactly.
Cast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are spoiler free.
Correct.
Exactly. Take care, everybody.
Thanks everyone, and goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.